Girl, we just found out about Nia Long's long-lost sister, and the family drama is already getting spicy. And not just any sister either. It's comedian Sommore. What makes it even more surprising is how they both managed to keep things secret. For a long time, there was barely any public acknowledgement between them. No conversations about it, no obvious connection. Just two sisters acting like the other one doesn't exist. They have the father, but different mothers, and very different childhoods, and very different paths in life. And once people started digging a little deeper, it raised even more questions. Why has this always been so secret? And why on earth are insiders convinced that Nia hates Sommore? Well, Sommore addressed it in a radio interview, but Nia was so mad about it that she distanced herself from Sommore even more. And get this, the streets are saying that Nia is secretly jealous of Sommore and has been jealous since they were kids. And she has been holding on to that beef for more than 50 years. So what exactly did Sommore do to make Nia mad? Let's get into it. Okay, so of all the secrets we thought we were going to find out in 2026, finding out that Nia Long has a secret sister was not on our bingo cards. And as if that wasn't surprising enough, come to find out that her secret sister is none other than comedian Sommore. Like, what? Neither of them even moves like they've got a sister in the industry, so that caught fans off guard for sure. It's just wild to think about them both being in Hollywood, doing their own thing, and keeping their relationship so private. They don't even talk about each other at all, which feels a little strange considering they're biological sisters. Same dad, different moms, but still, you'd think there'd be at least a hint or something out there. But as it turns out, the real reason they don't talk about their relationship has to do with Nia. From what multiple sources are saying, Nia low-key hates Sommore, and it has been that way since they were kids. And from what the sources are saying, it doesn't look like Nia's feelings are gonna change anytime soon. In fact, Nia is so desperate to keep their relationship secret that she supposedly went out of her way to delete an interview that Sommore did a while ago talking about their relationship. Sommore brought it up in a radio interview with Divine Martino a couple of years ago. According to her, she went out of her way to hide her relationship with Nia when she first got into the industry, and she had a pretty good reason for that.
A lot of people don't know that we're sisters. That's something I never talked about in the beginning because I didn't want it to be a crutch. I didn't want people to be like, oh, that's her sister. I didn't want that to be my accolade for mine.
I'm not gonna lie, that actually makes a lot of sense when you put it in context. Nia Long was already a big name in Hollywood before Sommore really got her footing in comedy. So if Sommore had leaned into being Nia's sister from the start, people probably would have just boxed her in as Nia Long's sister, instead of letting her build her career as her own person. But then Sommore also made it sound like their relationship was more complicated than we would expect. Even though they have the same father, she kind of hinted they weren't close growing up, and they've never really seen each other as sisters. And from the way she said it, it kind of seemed like Nia was the one who didn't want a relationship with her.
We speak from time to time, but I won't be babysitting her. It is in life. I tell people all the time, we have the same father. We're not necessarily sisters.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's clear that they don't really like each other that much. When you take a look at how they've been moving over the years, they're like complete strangers. Now, when Sommore first gave that interview, Nia tried to do a little damage control, and she low-key claimed Sommore as family. Nia posted a side-by-side photo of her and Sommore and called her the funny one in the family, tagging her in everything. Sommore even liked it, so it did not seem tense at first. But then Nia deleted it just a couple of hours later. That was super petty because it was like she was sending a message to Sommore that she still doesn't care about her. And then a few days later, Sommore's interview was taken down. Before getting into why Nia doesn't really speak about her sister, it helps to understand how their family situation actually played out. Their father had Sommore first in 1966, but he and her mother split not long after she was born. Then, about 4 years later, he had Nia with another woman, but that relationship also didn't last. They divorced when Nia was around 2 years old. After that, Nia's mom left New Jersey with her and moved around a bit, first to Iowa and eventually settling in Los Angeles. So Nia grew up without a father figure, and she's been pretty open about how that affected her. And when her father was around, he didn't put a lot of effort into building the type of father-daughter connection that she wanted. She has opened up about this in multiple interviews, talking about how she felt a sense of resentment over this. In one interview, she said, "For a lot of years, I was disappointed and angry, and I wanted my dad to read me a bedtime story and be there and do all of the things that a daddy is supposed to do. And I think my father had a very old school way of approaching life, because Black people are raised to survive. Well, on the other hand, Sommore's experience was very different. She actually had a solid relationship with their father, so her reality was different, which kinda made Nia jealous. And who can blame her for that? So when you put that together with the fact that they were raised separately from such a young age, it starts to make sense why they never really built a close sisterly bond. They were basically living two completely different childhoods. And on top of that, this was all way before social media or smartphones. So staying connected was not as simple as sending a text or hopping on a FaceTime call. Unfortunately, their dad passed away in 2020, and Nia released a statement saying, "My father was a master of words, an educator, a mentor, and a hero in his community, a poet with stories to tell about the Black experience in America. He wasn't afraid to raise his fist in solidarity for everything Black and proud. My sisters, Lori, aka comedian Sommore, and Jamila, and I will miss him dearly and are so grateful to have been by his side as he transitioned into eternal peace. I love you, Daddy, forever." This was really the first time she publicly acknowledged Sommore in a meaningful way, and for a lot of people, it actually came as a surprise, especially since her earlier Instagram post only stayed up for a few hours, and Sommore's radio interview with Divine Martino barely made any noise. And Nia did her best to erase it from the internet. Nia also opened up in an interview on The Breakfast Club about something more personal. She talked about the resentment she felt growing up because her father wasn't really present in her life, and how that shaped a lot of her emotions for years.
Because I think for a lot of years I was disappointed and angry, and I wanted, my dad to read me a bedtime story and be there and do all of the things that a daddy is supposed to do. And I feel more free and alive than I have in the last 10 years because I have understanding. And I've forgiven myself for not forgiving people sooner in my own life, or forgiving my father for things that he was unable to do.
She went on to say that she eventually reached a place of forgiveness, but it doesn't seem that her newfound peace extended to Sommore. It has been years since their father passed, and Nia still doesn't acknowledge Sommore. From what insiders are saying, she sees Sommore as the sister who got everything and was Daddy's little girl, and Sommore has never apologized or tried to see things from Nia's side. Nia seems to feel like she's owed an apology, but Sommore doesn't seem to share that sentiment. Well, fans have different opinions on this, and they said stuff like, "I honestly believe that Nia Long is a terrible person. A lot of people give her grace because of her looks. I keep telling y'all, Nia Long has been a piece of ish from the start, and having the same daddy equals distance without a bond 90% of the time." But I want to know how y'all feel about this. So drop your thoughts in the comments, and then check out this next video.